Lots of us lead a fast-paced, frenetic kind of existence, when what we'd like is a regular opportunity to get away from the pressures of work and city living.
And there is a way to have real quality time in the country and enjoy the benefits of the city.
You can live the dream by making your property work for you. Cash in your city home to buy 2 front doors, one in the city and the other in the country. London's a great place to be, full of energy, hustle and bustle. But when the stress levels go into overdrive, what you need to recharge the batteries is a haven of peace and quiet.
It is possible to have the best of both worlds. Combine city and country living by realising the investment in your city property to fund a crash pad in town and a base in the country.
And that's the dream for Vicky Candy and her boyfriend Ray Walker. They live and work in London.
He's a commercial surveyor who runs his own business. She's a successful account director for a corporate design company. Each day they spend hours fighting the grind of London traffic.
It's hot, it's unpleasant, it's suffocating, it's annoying, it can be slow, it's unreliable. I could go on.
I just find the crowds overwhelming, particularly on the tubes, and I don't get any pleasure out of it anymore.
Vicky and Ray have been together for 2 years. Soon after they met, they took a 6-month career break and went travelling around the world.
Escaping the stress of city life was so inspiring, they decided to rethink their whole way of life.
I know what I want, and the exact thing is to find a place in the country where I can run a B&B business.
I still enjoy the city for what it is. This is why we're looking for the ideal combination to suit us, where I can get the urban fix, but I can also enjoy my weekends in a more relaxed way.
So, Vicky and Ray want a new lifestyle, starting a bed and breakfast in the country, while keeping a crash pad in London. The combination of Ray's savings and the sale of the South London home they now share makes this new lifestyle possible.
Purchased 2 years ago for 200 grand, they're selling this house now for 295 grand. Vicky bought it before she and Ray met, and she renovated it herself. This must have looked entirely different when you first came here.
The kitchen was actually where the living room is now.
Okay,
so,
right through there.
Right through there. So actually when you came out of the kitchen, you went straight into the garden. What was
here?
Well, this is the living room. So you can imagine it's actually
Goodness me, you really switched it round.
Yeah.
The mixture and the balance between the period and the contemporary, you've really nailed.
I like the element of surprise of the period place, in that you can see from the outside the age of the building, and then you can walk in and it's quite modern inside. And I'd like to bring a little bit of that modernism to the countryside.
So we know that Vicky would roll up her sleeves, but what about Ray? This decking is his handiwork, but is DIY his idea of fun?
Yes, fun. I enjoy it, I do, because my job sits me behind a desk. Getting home and getting a sledgehammer out and starting knocking things around and doing something physical I really enjoy. I get a lot of satisfaction out of.
So basically, if we showed you something which seemed to perhaps less imaginative eyes to be a complete wreck, you'd be able to...
Hopefully, as long as I can see there is potential of doing some work and spending some money and getting some people in to help us, then we'll do it.
So they've got the same ideas about taking on a building project, but what are the plans for the bed and breakfast? Their own bedroom here may give us some clues.
Well, in terms of the size, I think this is probably about the right size for a B&B room, obviously with a sort of ensuite.
How many B&B rooms are you looking for?
My ideal would be 4.
So if there were 4 rooms of similar proportions with a little shower, then that would suffice.
That would be perfect.
Should we be concentrating on finding a B&B, or are we looking for a home for Ray and Vicky that could be a B&B?
In an ideal world, what you're looking for is a place for me and Ray, but with some form, hopefully, of annex, whether it's a stables or an old barn, that we can then convert.
They want a London pied-à-terre where Ray can stay during the working week and that's convenient for his Covent Garden office. But their main home will be the bed and breakfast, down in the New Forest, some 80 miles southwest of London.
Where's the centre point of the search?
Brockenhurst, because that's the station that gives me the main line rail link into Waterloo.
A clearly defined search area gives focus to our house hunt from the outset.
Now, I was going to ask what your most southerly point was, but it seems a bit of a daft question. So you go.
C.
What is your budget?
For the place in the country, it's 250,000, and we might be prepared to go a bit higher, but ideally we need to leave some cash available for any extra work that we want to do on the place.
So does 250 leave cash available?
It does, yes.
Okay. So what were you planning on spending on the town property?
150,000.
We're aware that we will probably end up with something like a studio flat, but that's fine.
It's a crash pad that we need in
It's
town.
a mouse swinger.
Exactly that. I've never heard that expression before, but I like it.
So we know what they'd like to spend.
Ideally, for the B&B in the country, it's £250,000, and for the flat in town, it's £150,000, a total budget of £400,000. But I sense there's a little flexibility.
Well, it seems they know what they want, and they've certainly got the vision and the determination to turn something ordinary into something that's really very special.
But can their dreams be realised? What are the chances of finding a property that's big enough to live in and function as a successful B&B?
It's over to us to find out.
It's easy to see why Vicky and Ray want to move to the New Forest. It's got everything they crave. Beautiful woodland, a thriving tourist trade, and of course, the famous wildlife. But they're not the first to spot its tranquility and accessibility.
This is a very popular area, and as we feared, finding a house big enough to start a bed and breakfast within Ray and Vicky's budget presents us with quite a challenge.
No, 250 to 300 really is the limit.
Our first task is to get to know the local agents. Hello. Morning. Remember, when you're buying a house, agents work for vendors, not buyers. We need them on our side. Good afternoon.
If you're firm and clear about exactly what you want and what you've got to spend, you can prevent wasted effort on both sides.
Budget's around 250. Got to be someone with a character. If you'd come back to me.
Keep it personal and keep in touch. It's a pricey part of the world, but we've found some fantastic properties to show Ray and Vicky.
There's a thatched cottage with a separate annex for the B&B. This former shop in Brockenhurst that's ripe for renovation. And this beautifully decorated house in walk-in condition.
Our first property is on the edge of the New Forest and conveniently situated for Brockenhurst Station.
Morning, Ray. Hi.
How are you doing?
Very well indeed. Beautiful day.
Perfect climate for looking at houses in the country.
We've seen lots of things.
Great.
Well, I have to say the market's moved on. We've been surprised at almost how little you get for the money.
Oh, no.
Well, but I mean, that's why it is so popular. Come and have a look.
Great.
We thought it was important to show Vicky and Ray exactly what you get for your money down here.
Well, this location is exactly the sort of thing we've been looking for.
It's pretty
stunning.
amazing.
It's idyllic, isn't it?
This Grade 2 listed lodge looks directly over the New Forest and has its own gardens. But at $325,000, you're certainly paying for the setting.
This is it.
Well, it looks amazing from the outside. It's beautiful.
It's exactly the image of the dream we've been having.
Oh, it is.
It's on the market at a horrifying $325,000.
Ouch.
We start you here with a reality check
Sure.
and set a benchmark.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep, that
Let's
sounds
have a
fair.
look at it then.
Come on in. The outbuildings look pretty tired, but it's possible that they could have set a planning precedent to rebuild on the site. Could this become their B&B annex?
Now, I think I used the word scruffy when I described the interior.
Yep.
Potential.
Don't think that was unfair. It looks to me like it's been lived in
Doesn't smell like it's been lived in.
by the same people for quite a long time.
There are patches of damp as you go through.
I can smell it.
This place has the potential for Ray's sledgehammer and Vicky's imagination. They'll need both.
Now, this is a really large hall, and for my money, the best bet would be to put your dining table there, so that you can have a formal dining area when people come round, and a smaller table in there with maybe a couple of armchairs. Make that a really cosy room. In here,
Ah, downstairs loo.
Downstairs loo for your guests.
And in here is the living room. 3 outside walls, that's got.
Upstairs, they'd have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom for themselves. We know renovation doesn't bother them, but will the size and layout?
It's fine.
Fine.
Absolutely perfect. Just so long as you have that outside space for your guests.
No, the size-wise really does work for us. It's exactly what we're looking for our own needs. So if we could get planning consents, it would work very, very well.
Now, this was our reality check house. We weren't expecting you to say, this is the one. But your incredibly positive, versatile approach to it is a really pleasant surprise.
Good. I think it's fantastic.
And
I really do.
does this mean that, you know, first thing out the box we might have a maybe?
It's a possibility.
So maybe if the figures work.
Right, very interesting.
Well, what say we get on the road and see the rest of them then?
Despite the price, Property 1 is a real hit with Vicky and Ray, and we're about to up the ante with other temptations.
It feels good. It feels great. I like it instantly.
It is possible to escape from a life trapped in the heart of the city and live the dream.
We're in the New Forest with Vicky and Ray, looking for a house that will change their lives.
They want a home which they can also run as a B&B, but still have enough for a pad in town.
They're after a pied-à-terre in the heart of London, but first we're hunting for the dream home 80 miles away in their dream destination, the New Forest.
We've shown them this romantic Victorian lodge in the most sumptuous setting, and there's plenty more to see.
18 miles to the west of Brockenhurst is the small market town of Ringwood, and just a stone's throw from the marketplace is our next house. Ringwood is just outside the New Forest itself, which is reflected in the price.
Well, just round the corner here, we have a classic example of a thatched cottage built around 1750.
A high maintenance thatched cottage.
You've spotted it needs a new thatch.
It does need some work, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does need a new thatch, but we can help you with that.
I thought maybe that was a feature.
No, I think thatch that scruffy cannot be described as a feature, even by the most liberal interpretation of an estate agent.
There's 2 bedrooms here and an annex to the side, which could be an excellent BB, and it's currently used as a sort of holiday let. Come in and have a look.
Good.
Before introducing this property, we got a quote for rethatching the roof. It came in at just £8,000. If you're considering a house where you think something needs attention, get an early quote. It may give you a useful negotiating tool.
Now come in, straight into the sitting room.
It does say winter weekends in front of the fire, reading the paper, watching movies on a Sunday afternoon with rain outside, cosy to me. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that vibe.
I like cosy. I'm just not sure if cosy means very low ceilings. I just feel a little bit oppressed
Is that your
by it.
initial feeling?
Yeah.
Do you think if these were painted white or washed white, it might help?
It may help, yes.
The authentic country cottage features continue in the dining room and in the kitchen, which we think Vicky will approve of.
I like it. I think it's got a really good feel.
Very bright.
Yeah. And I like the space, actually. I like the fact that I can sort of be in the middle and move to either side quite easily, but it's still got space.
Upstairs, however, space is more of an issue. They've made 2 good-sized double bedrooms up here, but it means there's no bathroom on the first floor.
The one thing I do dislike, and it's not necessarily that's insurmountable, is the fact that the bathroom's downstairs.
I couldn't agree with you more. It would drive me bananas.
Yeah.
The obvious solution would be to swap the bathroom for a bedroom upstairs, but this is a Grade 2 listed property, which means you'd have to apply for permission first. There's no need to panic. If the work you intend to do is internal and cosmetic, it may be that there's no problem.
Remember, with a Grade 2 listed building, you must get permission from the planning office before making any changes. You won't be able to make external alterations, but if you're looking to sympathetically restore an internal feature, the authorities are more likely to give the go-ahead.
The key to this property is the self-contained extension, which Vicky could use for her B&B.
Come in, Vicky. To the annex. Currently, it's laid out as a 1-bedroom holiday home and gets £400 a week rent in high season. but there are other options. It would be very, very simple to split this off. That's the bathroom for that room. The kitchen becomes another bathroom for that room. You've got 2 units.
That's absolutely the thing I had in mind.
So how does it stack up generally? It's a pretty little place,
It's
isn't
lovely. I mean, this is exactly the type of annex that I'm looking for running my B&B, separate from the main house, and just lovely. Really like it.
This property does have a good-sized cottage garden, but it's not so close to the New Forest, and its location is entirely reflected in the lower price.
Which I'm intrigued to find out, I really am.
Price is 285,000.
Right. Yeah, that's a big difference, isn't it?
It's a big difference.
Because you've already got the annex and
Yeah.
the B&B potential there.
I'm interested. I'm interested again in seeing how it can work.
Are you going to say something different?
I'm not sure about it. I think it comes down to a certain amount of, as you say, gut reaction. And I've had it in the 3 places I've owned before. And I didn't walk in necessarily and feel it about this place. I think we might have to agree to disagree on this one.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if it's not the one for Vicky, Ray...
Well, we keep looking.
Okie dokie.
The search continues, and we think our next property will fire Vicky's imagination. We're in Brockenhurst, which with its fast rail links to London is the ideal location for Ray and Vicky. This charming village is in the heart of the New Forest and combines a good range of shops with beautiful countryside.
The house itself is really unusual, and that's reflected in the way it's being sold. It's being offered by informal tender, which means that all interested buyers must submit a sealed bid by a certain date. There's a guide price of £250,000, but that is only a guide.
Wow, look at that.
This is what we're here to see.
This is it.
This is it.
Oh, this is
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yes, pretty.
Beautiful.
It's
Really
very
like
big.
it.
It's got 2 flats. It's vacant at the moment. It needs quite a lot of money spending on it. And we think that you might be the couple who've got the vision to make it into what it could be.
The building is currently 2 apartments, one upstairs, one down, so they could have their business in one flat and their home in the other.
Around to the side here, Ray. Separate entrance.
Right.
So you get your
Ideal.
own front door, which I presume would be good news for you.
Perfect news.
So the 2-bedroom ground floor flat could be their home.
Love the idea. Absolutely ideal. This is looking very, very good.
The second apartment covers all 4 upstairs bedrooms and a corner of the ground floor. This could be Vicky's B&B.
Oh, great sound.
Isn't that a brilliant doorbell?
Yeah, I love it.
Now, Vicky, in here, there's not much space downstairs, but I thought that this would make a perfect dining room. And through there, you've got a little kitchenette, just useful for the B&B, basically. Upstairs, you've got a lovely big double room.
Good size.
And
Really
I thought
good
that you
size.
could put a bath in there and have a basin.
Yeah.
In here, I thought you'd make this room into the loo for that bedroom and then a big bathroom ensuite.
You're already there, aren't you?
I know. And then here, if you come in here, look. If you put the door here where I'm standing, this would be ensuite for that room.
Ideal. Absolute perfect setup. I'm so excited about this place.
Great.
I really am.
So there's space for the guests. But what about Vicky and Ray's quarters downstairs?
As you can see, it's needs a bit of love and attention.
Yep.
But these are the 2 bigger rooms. Would have been the bedroom, would have been the living room.
It feels good. It feels great. I like it instantly.
What we've got to look at is how it could be best arranged or extended. But coming back down here, pretty skinny little kitchen.
Small, but practical.
These are only about 5 foot depth. And at the end of the tangerine corridor, there's a loo. And the greenest bedroom you'll ever see.
I mean, there is the option of, exactly, putting a kitchen back here and leaving those as living room. We need to think about it. We need to work it out. There's so many options.
Excellent. Exactly what I wanted to hear.
So many options.
This house just might have everything Vicky and Ray desire, even a large garden. And if they could get it for something close to the guide price, it would leave enough for that flat in town.
But it sounds like we've got an interesting contender. Its guide price is 250,000.
Wow. Perfect.
It is a guide, though, of course. It could go way and beyond that.
If that was the asking price, we'd be putting the offer in full price now.
Really?
But we reckon it could go way beyond the guide price. Our guess is certainly over 300. It's been a long day. Time to take stock.
This is the most heavenly neck of the woods, and I can quite see why you want to live here. Question is, can we find you something?
I think after the first day we're feeling quite positive, and we have seen properties that maybe have stretched our budget or would potentially stretch our budget, but they have both been beautiful buildings.
We've appreciated that we are probably going to have to go a little bit higher. We're sort of saying 250 to 300. I think we're talking about 300 and a little bit more than that.
Presumably that just removes money from the London pad. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of finding the balance between the two, isn't it?
It is, very much so. It's going to be quite a difficult one, I think, as well.
It's the second day of our search for a dream home in the beautiful New Forest, and we're trying a different tack.
We're in Hordle, 9 miles from Brockenhurst at the southern edge of the New Forest. This house is on a perfect spot for passing B&B trade. It's on the market for £345,000, which wouldn't leave much for the London flat. But we want to really test their commitment to renovating by showing them somewhere they could walk into and start trading immediately without any work.
Now, there's a feature of this house which I want you to see pronto. Go through the door and turn right.
So will this proposition seduce them? Not only is it in perfect order, but it also has plenty of space, with 2 sitting rooms, 4 bedrooms, and Kirsty's favourite feature.
Whoa, fab kitchen.
Oh, this is absolutely stunning.
Certainly our favourite room in the house, this one.
I wasn't expecting it either.
Slight memories of your kitchen back in Earlsfield, I had.
Yeah, it's definitely shades of, isn't it?
I particularly like the boards on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Just gives it a slightly sort of West Coast feel.
Yeah.
It's well arranged, it's very stylish, it's contemporary, plenty of storage space, plenty of workspace, and you've got formal or informal dining up here.
The kitchen leads straight out into the garden. Like the house, it's in great shape. Most importantly, this house would be easy to use as a B&B. With a bedroom and shower room downstairs, all 3 upstairs bedrooms could be dedicated to guests.
Vicky, if I was checking into your B&B and I got this room, I would be chuffed to bits.
It is lovely. It's very light and airy. Love the fact that it's got front and back aspect.
Yep.
Perfect.
And such simple decor, would you do it up this way?
Very much so. Yeah, keep it very simple, very clean. I do like the way they've done this. It's an inspiration for whatever I do.
And this place is absolutely gorgeous, and they're certainly loving going round it, but you know what? I don't think they've got any intention whatsoever of buying it. At the moment, my money's still on those flats in Brockenhurst. So you two, you've seen it all? Tell us your thoughts.
Well, I think it's lovely, fantastically finished, all the way through. But that is just the problem. It's too perfect.
I mean, it's a beautiful house, but it doesn't give us what we're looking for, the opportunity to stamp our own identity onto it and end up with something that we want.
Vicky and Ray are determined to take on work, and the prime contender looks like the renovation project in Brockenhurst.
But remember, they also want a place in the city. Phil still has to find Ray a London pied-à-terre, and as the budget shrinks, that's looking like more of a challenge.
You were getting nowhere in this actual Borough London Bridge area.
Not even a studio?
Studio, you'd be pushing it, a very small studio.
Vicky and Ray want to change their lives.
Just get terribly claustrophobic these days within London. Hemmed in, too many people around, everybody seems to be walking in the opposite direction to the one I'm walking in. Just a general feeling of oppression, I would say.
She wants to quit her city job to start a bed and breakfast, far away from the London grind. But But what about Ray?
I like the countryside, but there's another side of me that enjoys the place where everything's happening, the buzz of the West End. But this is why we're looking for the ideal combination to suit us.
So they want the best of both worlds, and our challenge is to help them find 2 new homes. A London crash pad for Ray to use during the working week, and a home down in the New Forest for Vicky to run her own bed and breakfast.
So far we've seen 4 very different propositions. A lodge in private parkland,
The size-wise really does work for us. It's exactly what we're looking for our own needs.
but they're not sure it's got the space for their business.
There was a thatched cottage with guest annex attached that Ray loved, but
I'm not sure about it. I think we might have to agree to disagree on this one.
there was a house in pristine condition.
But that is just the problem. It's too perfect.
So our hopes are pinned on a real renovation project in Brockenhurst.
While I go ahead to London to hunt down a city pad, it's up to Kirsty to finalise the situation in the New Forest.
Any conclusions?
Definitely.
Yeah, we're very interested in the Brockenhurst opportunity. We need to do a lot of research on and finding out what it's going to cost to do what we want to do to the space, or to the building. But we're very interested, and that's the main target of our love and emotion at the moment.
I'm more than keen. I'm really, really excited about this place.
It's what we've been looking for.
It's full steam ahead in the country, but the hunt is just beginning in the city. Ray needs a London crash pad to use during the working week, and Phil's got a maximum budget of $150,000 to find it.
I've got a client who's looking to buy a small studio flat or a 1-bed. The emphasis of the search is to be as close to the centre of town as possible.
Right. You would get nowhere in this actual Bower London Bridge area.
Not even a studio.
A studio, you'd be pushing it, a very small studio.
Finding a flat that's in budget is proving tricky, so I've headed south to the Elephant and Castle. It's still very near to the centre with good transport links. Bank House is part of a former council estate. It's now privately owned, and I've come to see a 1-bedroom flat on the market at $150,000. Inside, it's in pretty good condition and imaginatively decorated. There's an affordable service charge of £100 a quarter, and externally the whole block's been revamped. It's a lot of square footage for the price.
Well, it's a great flat, but at the end of the day, my instinct tells me it's just not Ray and Vicky.
But there are other lifestyle options for urban living.
Serviced blocks with leisure facilities like this one are becoming increasingly common in large cities. Some of them have got bars and restaurants, gyms, swimming pools, even gardens. They're turning into their own small communities, but it all comes at a cost.
I reckon buying an apartment here might be the answer for Ray. Remember, if you're buying a flat in a block, there'll always be a service charge.
Find out the charges before you even view. They could price a flat right out of your budget.
Establish exactly what you get for your money. Our porterage, hot water and central heating included.
And beware of major extras. Renovation plan for the future, like roof repairs or lift replacements, you will have to pay your share.
Hi, it's me.
How's it going, Kirsty? Any decisions?
They love the Brockenhurst flats, just as we thought they would.
Good news, good news. Are there any other contenders?
They're not even looking at anything else. They've totally made up their mind and it suits them perfectly. They've got a lot of thinking to do to find out how much work it needs and how much they can afford.
What do you think they might offer?
My hunch is we're going to have to spend well over $300 to get this one. It's really going to have a knock-on effect on what they can afford to spend in London. How are you getting on?
There's a fair bit of choice in their price range, sort of
150. I think if we drop below that, it's going to be very difficult.
The New Forest is a charming area, but there are restrictions that keep it that way.
Planning permission is a real issue in Brockenhurst. Kirsty's managed to fix a meeting with the head of development control for the New Forest, and he's dug out the old plans for the building.
What we would like to do is expand the ground floor into the garden area, so we can put a decent living area, potentially a kitchen, potentially service area for the rest of the property in there.
Because you're in a conservation area, you will have to reach a very high standard of design to fit in with the character of the building. But from what I've seen of the plans, it would appear that there's considerable scope for extension of the type you've described without causing any major planning problems.
Well, that's wonderful news.
That's the phrase we need, considerable scope for extension.
That in mind, we're back to Brockenhurst for a second visit, and even the rain can't dampen Vicky and Ray's enthusiasm. They're already swinging their fantasy sledgehammers.
I'd like to be able to access either into the hallway or into the kitchen.
Just link the two.
On a day like this, when it's pouring with rain, I do not want to have to go outside.
No, you don't.
And come back in the other way.
Not at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's
You
not
see me in
ideal.
my jammies doing that.
Hey, well, I might be able to charge more rent from people with that view.
Vicky's leaving her top-flight job in marketing to turn this into a bed and breakfast. It's going to be her home and her business, so she's got to be sure this is the place.
Get rid of that kitchen. And this, my favourite room. Love this living room.
And it can be opened out more. But again, we need a structural surveyor to come in and tell us properly whether that can move.
You and your open spaces.
Yeah, I like them.
You'd knock the whole thing down and just give us one big room, wouldn't you?
Loft apartment in the forest, yeah.
For Ray and Vicky, the excitement is growing and they'd like to make an offer straight away. But this property is going to tender in 3 weeks. That means sealed bids and a decision about how much they can afford to offer.
Do you think it's going to go over 300?
I think it could do.
I want to see if we can get in ahead of the crowd.
And we were really hoping that if we put in a really strong offer now, we could get it off the market.
Sometimes a tempting offer to the vendor will persuade them to sell their property direct before going to tender. It's always worth a try, however...
It turns out that it is owned by a trust, not by a private individual. And the trust is represented by a solicitor. They are not prepared to sell it for any price prior to the tender date.
The positive I can pull out of what you're saying to me is that the solicitor will be forced to do the thing thoroughly, professionally, ethically, honestly.
Absolutely. With a solicitor, that really makes a difference because he is honour bound to pick the best offer in every respect, not just the highest price. And that's the key. He has to go with the most likely to follow through. And if you've done all the prep work, you're the most likely to follow through.
Now Ray and Vicky have to make a tough choice. Bid too much for the house in Brockenhurst and they'll be unable to afford a flat in London. Bid too low and they could lose the home of their dreams. They have 3 weeks to make up their minds.
If you're involved in a tender or sealed bid scenario, always back up your offer. Include documentation showing you've cash in the bank, mortgage at the ready and a solicitor standing by.
Submit your tender bang on time. Too early, you could give the game away. Too late, you might miss out. And finally, make your offer an uneven figure so you don't end up in a dead heat.
For more tips on tendering, log on to www.channel4.com/4homes.
Vicky and Ray have done their sums. Budgeting 35 grand for the initial renovation, they reckon the maximum they can afford to bid on Brockenhurst is just over £340,000. If they got it, they'd have to postpone buying the London flat. All they can do is submit their offer and then wait.
For most London commuters, today is a day like any other. But for Ray and Vicky, today is the day that may change their lives.
How are you feeling, Ray?
I'm feeling nervous, anticipation and...
Clock's ticking.
Yeah, just wondering how it's going to go this afternoon, but excited and a bit stressed.
It's closing day for the tender, and we're calling the agent at lunchtime to get the results. But we're covering all bases. I'm also showing Ray a couple of studio flats that could give him the London pad he's after.
Well, this is Metro Central Heights. It was built as a commercial office building.
This complex is on the Elephant and Castle roundabout, so it's perfectly located for easy access to central London. I'm hoping Ray will go for the lifestyle package. Swimming pool, sauna and gym, private car park, and even a Japanese garden.
Well, this is the one that we selected to show you.
It's a one-room studio on at 145 grand, but even this has a service charge in excess of £1,000 a year.
Here we are. That's the bathroom, little shower room to your right.
Okay.
But the bulk of it's here.
Although small, it's in great condition and very bright and airy.
What you see is what you get. This is the room. That's where the bed would go.
Compact and bijou.
First impressions.
Sorry.
from
Not good.
you.
Not good so far.
Well, let me show you the kitchen at any rate.
Sure. It's clean, it's been done. You could live with it, but it's not necessarily how I would have done it.
This one's on the market at 145,000.
Ow. Okay.
Why the ow?
It just seems a lot of money to pay to be in this area for this size of property. It is very central, it has all those amenities. This location will suit a real urban, hip and happening dweller, probably better than me. It's not me, it's just not right.
Taking that on board, we're heading across town to another serviced block, but it's on his favourite patch near the drinking holes of Chelsea.
Now, the good thing about being here, Ray, you get a Kensington and Chelsea parking permit. Costs you about £90.
And then you can park anywhere in the borough.
There's a studio pad here just shy of 140 grand.
Well, Ray, you wanted a little flat in the centre of town.
This is a little flat in the centre of town.
Kitchen, fridge, dishwasher, and bathroom in there.
Oh, it's got a bath, not just a shower.
Usable.
It's usable. It's a studio flat. It's pretty well laid out, actually.
Big thing to take into account here is a service charge, an annual charge of £1,450.
Ouch.
But it provides all the maintenance and upkeep.
Yep.
The porters, hot water, electricity.
Right, so your only bill on top of that is your phone bill.
Have you really thought, both of you, about you being here 3 times a week? I mean, it's not a very inspiring place.
It's not supposed to be. It doesn't need to be. It's somewhere to lay my head.
And would you rather live right here, SW3, prime London, or a bit further out with a bit more space?
Here. This is what I want. Definitely.
That answers my question.
So, a good possibility on our second city appointment. But it all hangs on the purchase in Brockenhurst, and we've got to meet up with Vicky to hear the result of the tender.
Well, you two, the time is nigh.
D-Day.
D-Day. Suggest you get on that phone and find out the good news or the bad news.
Here we go.
How are you feeling?
Very, very nervous. Really nervous.
This could change your life.
Good morning.
Is that Clive?
It is.
It's Ray Walker and Vicky Candy here.
Hi, Ray.
Planning to find out the results of the tender.
Yeah, nail biting, I know. Unfortunately, you weren't successful.
We weren't.
No. I mean, all that I can say is that if it doesn't go through, and we'll know that within the next sort of 28 days, you're in with a good chance of being considered.
If it doesn't go through, are we likely to be second fiddle?
I can't say that, but I wouldn't give up completely. That's all I can
Okay.
say.
Well, you've got our details.
By the way, your tender were very thorough. You know, just exactly what we wanted to
Okay.
see. So I'd just say don't give up hope.
Okay, Clive.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we didn't get
You
it.
didn't get it.
Oh.
Never mind.
You made a good
Never mind.
bid. You made a good
It wasn't
bid.
meant to be, was it?
Unlucky. I'm very sad for you.
It's so disappointing. The sealed bid is a fair system, but it can be heartbreaking for prospective buyers.
So, Brockenhurst is lost. We've got to take it on the chin. But there are buyers lined up for their London home, and time is running out.
My place is about to disappear and belong to somebody else. And I would just like to get down to the New Forest. I'm feeling the pressure. I'm going to pass it on to you.
Vicky and Ray thought they'd found the answer to their prayers. A unique property ripe for renovation to create a new life running a bed and breakfast in the heart of the New Forest.
Ideal. Absolute perfect setup. I'm so excited about this place.
But the property went to sealed bids. Ray and Vicky submitted their best offer, but
We didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
Oh, you made a good
Never
bid.
mind.
So back to the drawing board. We've been trawling the estate agents while Vicky and Ray start viewing prospects.
We've got one more to see. Seen a couple of places which are possible.
but nothing comes close. Then an unexpected call from Ray changes all our plans.
It looks like we've got a run on the Brockenhurst property. The people that won the tender have not played ball, so we've got an opportunity. It's come back to us and we've got to run at it.
In their tender, Vicky and Ray promised they could complete quickly. Now they have to prove it. In just 9 weeks, they've surveyed, exchanged and completed on Brockenhurst.
Just as well, because they need to get out to let their buyers in.
Does this stay?
Yes.
You're leaving that?
Yeah.
Isn't that expensive?
No. £10?
Yeah.
No, it can stay.
Their bid of just over £340,000 has now secured the property in Brockenhurst, but the renovation will cost another 35 grand.
And we're going to have to kibosh the idea of the London flats, certainly for a while, because the funds aren't there. I'm going to have to rent a room off a mate for a while. But I can do that, I don't mind that. It's actually going to be lots of fun, so that's okay.
Boys together.
Yeah.
Sounds ominous, doesn't it?
Although Vicky works in design, overseeing a major renovation is a very different kettle of fish.
It's logistically quite a project and something which neither of us have ever tried to do before. When we see the place again in the New Forest, I think I'll just be reminded of the amount of work we've got to do. Huge amounts. Yeah, we've got to go because we've got somebody coming at 2. We can get in. It's 12 now.
We've got to go. We've really got to go.
Yeah, we have.
We're going to be late already. Guys, I'll see you down there.
Until the bed and breakfast is ready to open, Vicky will also need to keep working in London during the week. But she's already anticipating her new life.
Coming out of London, my first thought actually was all the traffic's going in the opposite direction and is welcome to, which is great knowing that we're heading towards the countryside.
Only 80 miles from London, but it's a world away for Vicky.
The interesting thing about coming into the New Forest this time round was that it felt like home. That's great, so we got the keys. Brilliant. Okay, see you soon, bye.
They've blown all the budget
Home sweet home.
on this.
Not so sweet home. Home that needs a lot doing to it.
Start ripping off wallpaper, that's just the fun bit. Oh, that's how I like wallpaper to come off.
Most of their stuff has gone into storage. Things will be pretty basic in Brockenhurst till the worst of the building work is done.
It will probably be just one room, which has got everything in it, bed, kitchen, everything we need, and we'll work around it. Running the B&B seems like a very long way off at the moment. I absolutely know we're doing the right thing, and it just remains to see how long it's going to take. Perfect timing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be dark in 10 minutes.
The removers have finished their job. For Vicky and Ray, the real work's only beginning. But they've done enough for today.
I'll do this side.
Okay, I'm going to knock up this side. That's your home, this is mine.
It's 7 weeks later, and the renovations started in earnest.
My salubrious kitchen.
To have any chance of catching the summer B&B season, they're going to have to complete the basic building work in the next 3 months.
Right, get this rubble shifted, lads. No slacking now, no lunch. We've actually been down here every single weekend since we bought it, without fail. I'm now working a 4-day week, so I'm down every Monday. Working together on weekends, we sort of have quite a lot to catch up on, but it's quite nice. We're going to have to get used to it. Ray's going to carry on working in London anyway, once the B&B's up and running. So I'll be used to him not being around by the time we actually start up.
It'll be a whole new life, but it's still just taking shape.
Well, the eventual plan is that upstairs there, that's all B&B. This is our living accommodation down here, And then the extension will also be our accommodation.
A microwave and a sink is all we've got at the moment, but it makes a great excuse for going to restaurants a lot.
The work in Brockenhurst is really moving forward, but during the week the builders still have the place to themselves.
That's it.
Back in London, Vicky has temporary lodgings with a girlfriend.
Just in time for Sex and the City. Perfect.
While Ray's made his own arrangements.
I've fortunately rented just a small room off a mate. It's perfect. I'm there from Monday until Friday. Doesn't charge me a huge amount of rent, and he's got a dog. This is Bodie, my flatmate's dog.
Sit down. There's a good boy.
I've got a pretty good idea as to what Ray and Simon are up to most evenings. I expect that they're playing video games and generally spending most of their time down the pub.
Do you want chicken gel frozy?
Yeah, mate. And I'm keeping on.
Shout them at me when I'm on the WhatsApp. I'm not sure. I don't think she minds. I mean, we're both very independent people, so I think the two styles of living complement each other very well.
Do you want butter on your asparagus?
Yes, please.
He'll be loving the fact that he's doing his lad's thing. And probably if we spent 5 nights a week together, we do nothing but talk house. So the break, I'm sure, is doing us the world of good.
25 minutes to football. Where do you want to watch it? Down the pub?
Mm-hmm. This sort of setup actually suits us, I think, down to a T. So nothing will be different, apart from the fact that I'll be living permanently in the country, which I'm really looking forward to.
You got your seatbelt on? Yes.
Yeah, always got my seatbelt on when you're driving.
It's 3 months since they bought the place. And things should be well advanced if Vicky is to catch any summer trade this year.
Builders are in situ.
It doesn't look that much different.
Hello there.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hello. Oh my God, look.
Bit of work going on, is there?
And welcome to Devastation.
Wow. We were expecting tea and scones.
We were rather hoping we'd be happily ensconced and settled, but sadly not.
My word, you've taken the wall straight out of the middle.
I just can't get over the size of this room. I mean, our voices are kind of echoing around this huge space. It is absolutely staggering.
It's actually going to start off as a living room for us.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when we hopefully get our okay on the extension out that way,
Yeah.
the living room will be that side, and this will be a big kitchen diner.
Are you living here or not?
No.
Because you were living here.
We stayed here over Christmas and New Year, but it was bitterly cold.
Yeah.
And we just decided we really couldn't live in here at all.
No.
Luckily, Vicky and Ray have friends in the next village, where they get to crash over the long weekends. Here, the facilities are still pretty basic.
So what I was really hoping was to actually have at least one room ready for us to be sleeping in, but as you can see, we are a long way off still.
Oh, not that long.
Right.
Oh, you've knocked down that wall.
Yep, we have.
So what are you going to put a bath and a basin in there?
Well, actually what we're hoping to do is, if we get planning permission for it, is put a dormer in there.
Ah, that would be lovely.
So we're going to step out even further.
How about Vicky? Is she coping with the, the stuff? Because
She copes with it pretty well. She, when we turn up and there's been builders here for a week and the place is covered in dust and dirty, she has a stressful time for the first half an hour.
Yeah.
But got the shape of the existing rooms the way we want. We just need to finish them off now. And
how long do you think it'll actually be before you're finished and comfortable in here?
except for the extension, it's going to be, I think, about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I'm an optimist. But it should be. Vicky's very good at getting the right people in the right place at the right time.
These guys have come a long way in 6 months, but they've still got a bit to go. So until the kitchen's ready, we're retiring to their new local.
It's incredibly romantic. You
call it romantic.
Yeah, no, you knew it. You knew it was for you when you saw it. You lost it, and then you got it back again.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty good romance, isn't it?
Yeah. One final question. Do you think after 6 months you're going to say, this isn't for us, and bolt back to London?
No, I'm happy. As soon as I get here, I'm happy. I've got the best of both worlds, as you know. But I can't see Vicky putting up with the hassle of London again.
And I must be the only person to say I don't want the best of both worlds, I want this world.